So the theme, because Franciscan University is sponsoring with IBT this particular conference, they have a theme for the conferences that they're doing this coming year, the summer youth conferences, and the theme is Illuminate. And the passage comes from the Gospel of John, chapter 1, particularly verse 5. But before I read verse 5, I want to give you the first 4 verses of context. In the beginning was the Word, and the Word was with God, and the Word was God. He was in the beginning with God. All things came into being through him, and without him, not one thing came into being. What has come into being in him was life, and that life was the light of all people. Here's the verse. That light shines in the darkness, and the darkness did not overcome it. What does that mean? How do we unpack that for our lives as we move into this night? We want to become a people who are children of the light, who are people who carry the light of God's love, not only in our own hearts, but also bring it to other people so that they can see. You know, when I was a young youth minister, I had the opportunity to do different types of trips with my youth groups. And one of my favorite trips that I used to love to do was to take my teenagers spelunking. Anybody ever been spelunking? That's cave exploring. Where you take them into a wild cave and they've never been inside and they have no clue what's in there. We would camp out overnight, scare the snot out of them, and they would come to believe in Jesus. It was amazing. No. But there was this one cave that I used to love to take them to, and it's got a really small opening, so it's kind of ominous when you're on the outside and go, okay, guys, we're going in here. And they'd look at me like, what? Yeah, we're going in there. There? Yeah, that's where we're going. Follow me. So I'd get my light, and I'd crawl in, and then they would follow. And once we got inside, it opened up into this huge, dark cavern. So if you can imagine the arena being this huge cavern, but with no lights on. Totally black, like so black you can't even see your hands in front of your eyes. And I stopped just inside so that you could look back and see the opening and the sunlight outside. But that was the only light they had. And so when we came in, I stopped them and I said, okay, guys, listen to me. Very important instructions. Stay close to me. Put your lights on the ground and watch where you're walking because there are 5-foot holes in the ground. This was really a fun trip. And so they're sitting there, and all of a sudden, I said, they're 5-foot holes, so be careful where you step. And stay close to each other because there's a 150-foot ravine. And I don't want anybody falling down because, listen to me, if you fall, I'm not going to go get you. So pay attention and follow the rules. So now everybody's like hovering close to each other. You know, they're all walking. And what I did is I separated them like 30 yards apart. I said, okay, we're going to do an exercise at the very beginning. It's going to help you get used to the cave. You follow me? And they're all going, okay, so here's what we're going to do. I'm going to assign you a spot, and I want you to stay there and do not move until I tell you to. You got it? Okay. So, John, you're here. We walked off 30 paces. Marcia, you're here. And we get through it. And so I had every kid along this ravine, not close to the ravine, but along the ravine, lined up. And they were sitting down. I said, you're going to sit here and you're not going to move, right? You're not going to move, are you? You're going to stay right there. Okay, good. So they would stay there. And then I said, I want you to get used to the darkness. So for 30 minutes, I left them there. And their eyes got all used to the darkness. They just couldn't see anything but darkness. And what I had done in the 30 minutes is gone to the edge of the ravine, climbed down, climbed back up the other side, and I went to the other end, would be like the back of the arena. And I sat there and I opened up my backpack, and I took a candle and a lighter, and I lit my candle up on the other side. And the moment I lit the candle, the cavern was illuminated with one candle. And everyone was sitting in the darkness, and they realized they could see the whole cavern, and then they could see this dark thing between me and them, the ravine. See, Satan has come, and he's giving us a lot of darkness. So much so that we believe that the darkness is more powerful than the light. But we know the truth. The truth is that Jesus is the light. He is the light of the world. And in him there is no darkness at all. And so we want to become a people of that light. We want to become a people who, because we know the Lord, because we've encountered him, because we have our candle lit, which, by the way, is blown out when we commit mortal sin, but it gets relit when we go back up there and get taken care of. Tell me, is your light lit tonight? Is your light lit? So that the friends that you hang out with, the people that you hang around with, they can see Jesus because your light is lit. This is the people that we want to be. People of the light, people who are of God. Why? Because the light came into the world and the darkness could not overcome the power and love of Jesus Christ. So we want to dive into that light tonight. We want to dive into the depth of that love tonight. We want to do more than just learn about God. We want to encounter the living God in such a way that because he is true, because he is real, because he died, because he rose from the dead, we know that if he is in us, we belong to him. And we know that because he's in us, his life and his love has the power and authority to heal every heart in this room. I don't know where you are with God. I don't know if you were dragged here kicking and screaming because your parents told you you're going to go. I don't know if you're here because you're really just hungry and thirsting for God. But when's the last time you were thirsty to encounter the living God? Thirsty. You know, like you've been working all day outside in the yard and you haven't had anything to drink for a couple hours, and you come in, your mouth is all dry and your body is aching for moisture. When's the last time your soul was aching for the Spirit of God, the living waters? That's what we want tonight. Last weekend I had an opportunity to speak at my parish that I'm assigned to in Texas. I now serve in the Diocese of Austin, Texas. And I was talking to my confirmation kids. Well, they're not mine, but they're at our parish. And I looked at them and I said, you know, many of you I know, you're like me. You got confirmed because your parents told you had to. And once I got confirmed, I left the church because none of this meant anything for me. But I want to tell you something. Don't waste your time. Don't waste your time going for a sacrament. Don't stop until you find Jesus. You can go through the rite of confirmation, but don't stop till you find Jesus, because the prize is Jesus. You were meant to have him now. You're being robbed of your relationship with God if you don't have him in your heart. You're being robbed of him now. And God wants to pour his heart and his life and his love into you. He wants to give you himself, the gift of himself. This is what we long for. This is what we want. He is the one who makes life worth living. He is the one that brings meaning and purpose to our life. He's the one who brings clarity to our identity. We want him. And then once we receive him, we want to go out into this world, into this darkness with our candle. And it may be just as dark as that cave was, but the moment you shine your light, anyone who's around you can't help to see that God is real. This is our God. This is our Jesus Christ. Are you thirsty? Do you want more? Because he so desperately wants to be with you. And he is delighted that you're here, whether you are forced to come or not. Put that aside. Ask him, like I did when I was a teenager. The moment I found Jesus, I asked him I made a simple request. Jesus, here's the truth. I'm a cradle Catholic. I went through my religious education, but it didn't mean anything to me. And the truth is, I don't really know you. I don't know you. But here's the deal. If you're really real, then I want you to live in my heart. If you're real, then I want to encounter you, tonight, now. Lord, I want you if you're real. So come. Come. Make yourself real to me.